Now, growing up, obviously, just admiring the kung fu films and practicing and going over them with your friends. I feel like throughout your whole filmography, you've always done your own work as well.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're really starting to make that prominent. What do you have that you're working on now that you feel would be necessary to talk about?
Well, we're attempting to do it was called another title, but no, I forget what it is. I don't want to give too much of it away, but we're working on trying to shoot a proof of concept with a few different sequences, and it's more or less it's I don't know if I can give so much of it away because it's basically about a nerdy guy who's always wanted to be a badass guy,
right?
And then you kind of, if you can just take that in itself, get an idea of what it will hopefully evolve into, right? I don't want to give too much of it away because we haven't done it yet. And but that's kind of what our next goal is. I'm trying to, originally it started off as something that was going to be more violent, more this guy's kind of nature of how he is as a human. Like, he's not that way, but he loves that kind of stuff in real life, the violent stuff. And I'm like, I want to go the opposite way. I want to make this a little bit different. I don't want to go the way everyone's going, the way I see all previses online that every stunt person, every stunt team, and everybody wants to be stuntman do. Where it's like as violent as they can make it, as crazy as they can make it. I want to do the opposite. I want to have fun, exciting things. I want to have an interesting story, interesting characters. Whether it comes out that way or not, it's up to the people watching it. I think, and that's kind of, I want to push that direction. Yeah, I want to try and go. It's really a test to myself to see if I can even deliver the idea.
Right.
The toughest thing I realized for just getting a film done is getting it done. Taking it from here and creating something.
Right.
I was listening to Clint Eastwood talk about something on it was called the Actor Studio, where they would I don't know if it's still going, but interviewing all these incredible actors and people. And he interviewed Clint Eastwood, and Clint Eastwood's phenomenal, one of my favorite people. Watching growing up, all of his Western movies, I could just watching a Western movie is like watching a soap opera for me, and I'm like slide down and watch it. And I just love that. Like I never paid attention to these details before, but it's a cinematography. If you watch the frames in any of his old movies, the cinematography of the outfits they were wearing, the simpleness of the dialogue, it was almost nothing. The shots they did, like it's like watching an anime in some respect,
right?
Because of the way they did the shots, the simplicity of it, and it wasn't complex. But fuck, and then I didn't even know they were shot in Italy 90% of the time, right? Because and I looked at all the credits, see all these Italian names. I didn't know their clothes were Italian design. They weren't like a true West gunman's outfit. They were all tailor made, And I'm like, shit, but they were so badass. And so I just like Clint Eastwood, man. He's always cool, dirty hair. He's got this look. If they did Wolverine back then when he was younger, he would have been a badass Wolverine because he looked Wolverine,
It's a very good point. It's a very good point.
He's tall, but he had the look, and the energy. So he's on the Actor Studio, he's being interviewed, and he did a movie, I forget what it was, and it didn't get good reviews, and the host goes, so he did a movie and it didn't get good reviews. What do you think about that? Like when people give you these bad reviews? He's like, well, I guess I'll just do better next time.
Right.
And that was it. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. There's no pressure. So it made me just think about when you're creating art, and that's what we're all doing in this business. We're just artists creating art. Doesn't matter what it is we're doing. If I'm a set designer, clothing designer, an idea maker that gives the idea to the set designer or whatever they got to do, we're all artists in a different way. So whether I did it perfect at that moment is irrelevant because it's your own personal art. I can't judge your art. I could, but it shouldn't matter because it's yours. You created it, right? So where it matters to people is if you take it personal. So let's say you created a film with your 3 friends and you had a shitty camera and it's all shaky and you're not really, the acting sucks and all that. Whether I liked it or not doesn't matter. It's that you actually got it done. That's the message right there.
I'm glad you said that because that's what I tell my buddies. Like but it's you always hear people on the side, well, it got to be perfect. It's like a painting that needs to be straight all the time. Well, just make the next one better. It's the same thing with music too.
Yeah.
And I feel like the sharp part of that is like, if you put a lot of money into something, that's where the backlash comes. Well, we spent all this money on this. Well, it's like, okay, but what didn't work and what did work, that for at least. And it is, as long as you can flip that to make the next one better, that's all that matters. I'm glad you said that, because nobody says that. Nobody says that.
Yeah, and that's it. It's a testing ground. It's a learning ground, and especially with adults, you know, this is one of the things I love about kids is they don't think about all the mistakes they make until we tell them. You know, until we tell them that's a mistake. You're not walking right. Walk right. You know, yeah, but me walking imperfect is me learning how to walk right.
Right.
You know what I mean? Me playing in all these different ways of walking teaches me how to be more agile, more nimble, more mobile in a different way, right? If I just walk straight all the time and I slip, I won't know how to fix myself, right? Because I was told not to, right? So I think the toughest thing when we're adults is to get over the fear of judgment and just be uninhibited like the way kids are, where they just don't give a shit. I'll run around naked and do weird things and eat that thing off the floor and go, is this okay? You know, and like, if you could bring that mindset into your adult life when you do stuff and not give a shit about what people think or judge, then you will be successful. You know, going back to what Andrew Tate said is, as long as you're consistent at what you're trying to achieve, you will be successful.
Right.
Doesn't matter when, you don't know when, but you got to just push and believe.
Right.
Right. And correct things, fix mistakes, make things more efficient. One of some of my earlier stuff, which was really shot with a really like a one-man band kind of thing. And then when we did a 60-minute feature called JOO, but a Jewish pro wrestler. And it was just based off of a friend's idea. It's streaming now, actually. It's the first project I ever did. When I look back at it, I'm like, fuck, we should have stuck to our ideas of this, that. Being on set after that, watching other directors direct, young kid casts and different approaches. This is one of the beauties of being on a pro set, is that you get to see different things that you didn't think about when you were doing your movie.
Right.
And you're like, oh, I might think like that next time, because I didn't think about that. You know, watching these kids get directed on this movie, had Johnny Knoxville in it, and I don't know if it came out yet. Just watching the kids, these kids were like insane, man. The dialogue they were delivering, they were like just bam, 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 bam. And then director would say, now do it this way, bam, 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 bam. Now do it this way, bam, 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 bam. Do it this way, bam, bam. And it was like, they just get it on the spot like that. And I learned something from the director that day, which is a technique, a thing that I'm going to do, which is just have a whole bunch of different dialogues ready for the same scene, not just the dialogue I've given them already. So that way I have many versions of that scene, all in that one shot, or in those shots. You know what I mean? Because like usually you'll have a script and be like, the actors will read what's on that script, and that's what it is. But I'm gonna, and you can do this yourself too if you like. But it's like have like 10 versions of that same little moments. And okay, now you say it like this. Now you say it like this. Now you say it like this. And you'll have so many different edits. And I thought about it. I'm like, wow, that's such a great way to do something. That'll save you so much time, right? So, I think I went off way on a different tangent, but
you're good, man.
Yeah. So, listening to Clint Eastwood talk about do it better next time and doing my first larger project. One, don't use your own money. That's expensive. Right. Expensive. You can find a way to get investors or free labor. Like, I don't ideally want free labor. I do want to pay people, because one of my big goals is to employ people. Right. Everyone's got to eat. You know what I mean? And I value people's experience or time that they put in. So I really want to give them, and I really want to. I try not to be the guy that wears all the hats. Right. Because you get used to that, and then you don't trust people's skill and ability. So if you're a camera guy or you're a lighting guy and you're good at what you do, I want you to be that guy. Right. You give me suggestions and ideas for what you're thinking. I'll tell you what I want. You tell me what you can do, or give me some ideas for stuff I didn't think about. Right. So I value that, and I really would love to just kind of employ people that way. Right. And so yeah, every I don't take the things I do as serious as I used to where we're like, it has to be perfect. It just lightens everything up so much better. And I try, if it's something I need specifically in a shot, then I need it. But if it's something that I want and something else happens that's organic, then I keep that. I don't go, okay, we got to redo that and do it the way I want.
Right.
I'm like, I'll give you an example. We were shooting a scene where the guy, this lady girl's being chased, and the guy who's chasing her has got a gun. He's like a military-ishy kind of guy, and he comes flying through a door, and he falls down, and he gets up and he starts chasing her. Well, that's the one I used because that was natural.
Right.
Not the one where I need you to get back up and not fall down and keep running. He came flying through the door and he fell down, wipes out, and then he gets up and he starts chasing. And that to me just looked fucking, that was the one.
More organic because it, like you said, it's not being planned.
Yeah.
So the best part about that is you can see it on camera when that happens.
Right.
You can't fake that. Like,
No.
there's no way you can fake that.
That's right.
That's very good, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you did that because, like, again, a lot of people would say, "Yo, do that again." That's not how I wrote it.
That's
like,
right.
It's about teamwork.
Yeah. Yeah. And real life is not perfect. So I want those imperfections in the stuff I do.
Right.
If it looks natural, like if it looks like it fits the moment, I want to use that. Clint Eastwood did a scene with an actor where he got out of a car. He was supposed to walk around to the front or something. And the actor got out of the car and he fell down. And he got up and he finished the scene. That's the shot Clint Eastwood used.
If you had to pick a favorite film out of his filmography, what would you pick?
Yeah, I don't know. The cowboy ones for sure.
Right.
I like Good, Bad, and the Ugly. That's like one of the most popular ones. Hang 'em High. Just a lot. Any of the Clint Eastwood, any of those earlier ones that he did.
He did Deadpool, right? The Deadpool.
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
Did he do Deadpool?
The not Marvel. It was called The Deadpool.
Oh, that's a long time ago, wasn't it?
Right. Oh yeah.
That I don't remember now. You just made me think about that. I don't remember.
And then he did that Gran Torino, but he died at the end of that. I didn't really like that. But everything up to it was cool. But
yeah, that was not one of my favorite ones because I guess because I just have seen Clint Eastwood when he's younger till now.
Right.
And so I'm used to him always just being badass.
Right,
you
right.
know, all the what was it? Good, not Good, Bad. It's like the movies where he had the orangutan. Like there's these like these old movies where he'll be like right hand Clyde, which is monkeys, and his monkey would punch the guys in the face.
That's funny as hell.
Those are such old movies, man. They're like from the 70s or early 80s or whatever. But so when I see him like that, that's how I always see him.
Right.
So I feel like the movies he does now, because he is older, he's like in his 90s or whatever. If he does any movies at that age, he can't ever be that guy. And that makes sense because you got to do roles that suit your age. You can't be an old guy trying to be a young guy. It just doesn't work.
Right.